Hi everyone, this is Elizabeth from Strange to Go, and in this video we are going to talk about bad things that have happened on the Delaware River. Gruesome things have happened along, inside, and over the Delaware River. Plenty of bodies were fished out of the waters, and it was a common river for people to end their lives. It was also a disposal site for the victims of murder. It was a cold February day in 1926 when young John Cochler, along with two friends, were walking along the river. The boys spotted something embedded in the ice and ran to get the police. The police returned with axes and chopped away at the ice until the body of a young woman was freed. She was clad in a union suit and had on only a single stocking. The coroner examined her body and found a gash across her forehead. Her skull had been fractured, and the evidence showed that she was deceased before being dumped into the river. No further information could be found as to whether or not the body was ever identified. In 1869, a Philadelphia picture frame maker did the unthinkable. He took an axe and chopped his wife and two small children to pieces. When he was finished, he wrote a letter claiming that he had been robbed and was now a ruined man. He then threw himself into the Delaware River and drowned. Under a Pennsylvania law in 1914, funerals were no longer allowed to cross over the Delaware River bridges for free. Instead, each person had to pay a fee to cross the river, including the deceased body in the hearse. Burlap bags were rather common in the early part of the 1900s, and there were a number of cases involving bodies stuffed inside of them. For instance, in 1908, a body was found stuffed inside a burlap bag in the Delaware River. The body was so terribly decomposed that the coroner could not establish the identity or even the gender of the body. In 1907, a report came out of Philadelphia that a body of a man had just been taken from the Delaware River. The body's head and chest were mutilated, and both of its legs were missing. There was then a second body discovered, that of a woman whose throat appeared to be slit, and again both legs were missing. At the time of the report, the police were having problems removing the woman's body, and there were no clues as to who might have committed the double murder. On the lighter side of life and death, Henry Van Zuten made one last request back in 1907 in a letter he left to his friends. He asked them to scatter his ashes to the four winds. The German man took his own life, and his remains were cremated. Showing their true friendship, his acquaintances brought his ashes onto a ferry boat that was crossing the Delaware River. When they reached the middle of the river, the group gathered around to pour out the ashes. As fate would have it, as the ashes left the bronze box, a wind swooped up and brought the ashes up and into the faces of the crowd of mourners. Incidentally, a photographer was present and took a photo of the event as the ashes flew back.